It looks like we are having everything at the desk here right now, which we need for today's plan. Very important, junk journal medicine, and a journal where nearly all of this stuff shall go in today. Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Nice to see you here today. In today's video, I would like to embellish this journal here with the things I have just shown you, and that are mostly the things we have made in the previous videos. If you're new to my channel, then please check out the description box of this video. There's a playlist linked where I show you some of the things about this journal, some of the things I created to now put them into the journal. If you have already followed this little, kind of mini series, then you might wonder what happened to the journal and what is this? I remember that a little differently than I see it here now. That is true. I have done some things which required a little drying time off camera, but of course I want to tell you what I did and what you perhaps also can do if you want to do some like stamping and stenciling before you embellish the journal with the things you have made. Perhaps you remember that this journal was pretty plain when you have seen it the last time, and I like to take out my stencils and stamps I have chosen for the journal, and then I like to do the whole stenciling and stamping stuff first before I glue on my pockets and belly bands and other embellishments, because this needs a little bit of time, not only drying time, but also, time of working on this, because this has a lot of pages and you want to have a nice and cohesive and interesting look, and because of that you want to have a ton of stenciling and stamping. If you don't like stamping and stenciling, then that step might be very fast for you, but for me that always requires a little bit of time, and because of that I have skipped that. I have not filmed that and did that off camera. And now I want to take my embellishments and embellish this thing. I have already started here, and that's the first thing I want to go on with. I have added some page tabs here. These I also made off camera. I made all of these here, massively inspired by Tony at Crafty by Tony. I think I have a pretty big crush on her because I love her things so much, and I followed her little series about how is that called? Mars Make March, and there she made a ton of things, and with that I also watched some older videos on her channel and made these page tabs. So I made these, in a little like compartmental making session. These bases here are even from our compartmental making live stream with Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. Perhaps you remember that I made a little stamping trick. Wait, I have the base for this here in a raw condition by coincidence next to me here. So this is already cut up, but perhaps you remember these pieces where I stamped the first generation of the stamp, and then without inking the stamp again, I stamped again, but I have turned the paper like so that I then get all of these amazing things here, which are really faded, but add to the whole thing. And from these, I have cut the bases for these page tabs and then just decorated them with some tiny bits and pieces, some stickers I had. Some of these snippets here are from my shop. So that's a digital. Also this here in the background is a digital from my shop. These flowers I got in a Happy Mail. Little bits and pieces of lace and so on. And I want to start with these because I have already started adding some of them here so that we get this really cool irregular look here on the edges of the pages. So let's do that perhaps first. If you want to know how to make page tabs, you can either visit Tony's channel. I will link that down below in the description box, of course. Or you can also check out the video I have linked in the description box for you, which is my own video about making, let's say very similar page tabs like these are, with the tiniest bits and pieces you might have laying around in your craft room. This is boring. This looks really good, but the other half is pretty boring. So what are we going to do? We take our glue and I glue first this part so that I already have the correct position for this. And then let's take some of these. These are just some really weird stickers. And I don't trust the stickiness of these. So let's put some glue here. And I have just taken those and I have braided some white gesso over them because they have been really, yeah, not so my style on the one hand, and they looked too new somehow. So I just thought when I add a little bit of gesso, then that looks pretty good. Here is also even some dirty paintbrush water on them. I've just splattered that while the gesso was still wet, and then I got this really distressed look. Shall we also add a little bit of stenciling or perhaps a little bit of stamping here, or another thing which is like so? This will perhaps change later a little bit because it's pretty intense, but for now I like it. And when that is the case, I like to go to the next page. And originally I said we want to add these, so that means I go back to that plan of adding more of those page tabs. And I also want to pay attention that I have some here and also some on the top, so that this looks really interesting in the end. Perhaps we can take this blank page next. And shall we perhaps try to put such a giant one here on the top? Originally I made these to put them to the side like so, because I really like that when there's such a long thing, but this one would even work like so. And here it works even better with these colors, and that is also nice. Okay, this will go here. I think I will do a little trick. I will put the glue like so, so that here is a little bit of paper where is no glue. I mean, when I do that on both sides, it will not fall off later, but that gives me the chance to later on tuck some other things like these stickers, for example. I'm so sorry, I can't talk. Why is this so irregular there? Under here, so that I still have the possibility. Oh, I want this a little higher, so that we can see this cross there. Now, when I have no glue here, it not only adds to the dimension somehow, because this gives a natural shadow now, but I also have the possibility to later on, when I think here's missing something, take some of these pieces and tuck them under here, so that they can then get part of this arrangement, and I would take this. You know what? Who says that we need to peel off this thing from the back of the sticker? It's so crazily on there. What shall happen when we just glue it like this? And that is really nice, because now I can put under here whatever I want. And I'm just thinking, we could even say we take something like a journaling card or so and use this as a tuck spot. That would also work. Probably not like this. This is a little bit too massive for the page, but just, you know, I was talking about the function of that thing. So then perhaps the next one could go somewhere here. Oh. Yes. I'm always so happy when these things with the colors, you know, when you have decided for a color palette and then you see everything come together. When that works, that is really fantastic. And when I did these page tabs, I was not so, oh no, I glued it to the wrong page, oh no, holy cow. Okay, I need to cover this up with something else later, but I'm a lucky girl, it works here as well with the design. Now I don't know what I wanted to say. I think it was the thing with the colors. When you make ephemera and then later on you put that into the journal and you see how wonderfully everything goes together, that is just always a great moment, isn't it? And now I know what I was trying to say. When I made these page tabs and I added these labels with this green, I was not so sure if that is really a good idea for this journal or if I will use those page tabs then later for something else, because the green is, well, it has an own mind, I would say, that kind of green, and I was not so sure if it fits to this color I have here, which is mainly cracked pistachio oxide ink, but also some shabby shutters and also old paper oxide ink. And where is the color of the mica spray I have used? That was this one here. It's called Merriment. And the same is for this red. Will that really work? Because I don't have more red, I think. At least not so much like here on the other pieces. This is not so nice. Well, let's just take another page tab. Yeah, I think these colors work better. Where is this page? Yeah, that works way better with this little flower here. And what I also want to know is if you have joined the compartmental making live weekend I did with Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. And by the way, if you haven't joined that weekend, you can still find the replay of that live. That were 2 lives. Part 1 was on her channel and part 2 on my channel. But if you have been there and you have followed this discussion about compartmental making, have you done something like that for your own journals or, you know, for your own stash or so? Or did you just watch it and then, you know, forgot it? I mean, what a question. But I want to know if that is something you have tried out or not, because I have to say I'm still in this learning process. And for all of you who haven't seen that live stream, we discussed in that stream, or in those streams, if compartmental making can work for junk journaling. What is compartmental making? And how is it different to mask making, because I also mentioned this mask make March, which Tony did. Compartmental making is nothing else than compartmentalizing the steps you do to create something like, for example, page tabs, tags, everything, yeah, pages for your journal. So you break down the process of making something for your journal into several steps. And then, for example, the first evening you sit down and just cut the bases. That is exactly what I did with these page tabs. On the first evening I have just cut the bases because I already had this stamped paper. If I wouldn't have had that, my first step would probably have been to stamp to the paper and then the next evening cut the bases. Then the next evening I did the next step and so on until I got all of these page tabs ready to go for my journals. So that is compartmental making. Compared to mask making, compartmental making is more unintentional, I would say. We discussed that in the live stream as well, and to be honest, in the first few days after the live stream and after I, thought about everything we've talked about there, I didn't really know how I shall think about that thing, and I didn't really know, I couldn't clarify that for myself so well, what the difference really is. Because the arguments you had in the live stream were really good, because you said, yeah, well, where is the difference? When I mass make something, then I also have these things for my stash in the end. And that is obviously completely true. But then I found out that for me, compartmental making is something different than mask making. Have you ever glued a page tab like this? I mean, it's a little bit too long, and I don't want, it wouldn't be too long, to be honest, but I don't want to have that so much here where the next page starts. So I thought, can we do it like this? I mean, that is cool. Then we have a tab here and here. It's a corner tab now. So let's glue that down. Compared to mask making, compartmental making is, for me, for my understanding, or the opinion I've built about it in the meantime, more unintentional. Because when you mask make things, then you probably have an intention to have something finished in the end. And with this compartmental making thing, for me, it's different. But what I'm saying here is only my personal opinion and what I learned from the process I went through. Yeah, but there's no dictionary where it's written down. So that's what I'm trying to say. And that is also really important to me, that you understand that it is only my personal opinion, because I think everyone has to build their opinion about this for themselves. But with compartmental making and not necessarily having an intention of what or how or let's better say what the finished project shall be, it is way more relaxing for me somehow. So when I made these things, for example, when I stamped these, I didn't know what I will do with this paper. I wanted to show you this little trick with rotating the paper while stamping. And I didn't know how I wanted to use these. These have even been in my snippet drawer, because first I thought I want to cut all of these out to have little snippets. But then when I wanted to have page tabs, I thought, why don't I use that thing as a base? And that was a really cool experience, even if that sounds perhaps a little bit weird, because I mean, it's just paper. But with having that paper and with this thing that I have made it without having an intention during the compartmental making thing, I could see that that sounds so weird. I could see that I have it and that I can use it. But if I wouldn't have made it, I mean, then I couldn't have had the chance to see that I then can use it. Do you know what I mean? And with mask making, that's for me different. So, for example, when I watch Tony's videos for Mask Make March, then she says, here we want to make some ephemera from book pages, for example. And in the end, she has something which she has made with an intention. For example, having a ton of tags, having a ton of pockets, having a ton of triangular things, which she then later on can include in her journals. And that is, for me, a totally different thing compared to compartmental making. And I'm not saying that the one or the other thing is better or not so good. Yeah, I'm just comparing it for my own understanding. And yeah, I'm just telling you my opinion here. But that obviously doesn't mean that one or the other is better or not better. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, I have a crush on Tony. Is it then a crafty crush? I guess so. And you would never hear me saying something bad about that woman, because I really love what she's doing and how she does it, and her enthusiasm, holy cow, what a word, is really, really cool. And I mean, if you don't know her, if you have a bad day, watch her videos and you will feel better. Yeah, this is really cool. Okay, so I think I will go on with gluing these page tabs down, and then we can go on to the next section of the things I have here. This is so crazy. This is empty now. I mean, how full was this before I started recording? I mean, wow, what? But yeah, it is what it is. I think I need more page tabs. But if I need more ideas for page tabs, I know where to look, because yeah, Tony has really great ideas for page tabs. Yeah, and perhaps if you have followed this little thing here with this journal and the ephemera we've made, then you probably might think, what problem does she have? Because she has made more page tabs in one of the other videos from this series. And that is completely true. We'll show you them in a second, if you haven't seen them yet. But these page tabs are for me more like generic page tabs. But what we also made are these page tabs from one of our mixed media masterboards we've created from the leftovers from some die cuts. And I have not so many of these. Not so many as these, I mean. I could make more. As you can see, here's a little bit of the printable still left. But these are more special to me. And because of that, I want to include them now, and not before or while I was adding these, because then with adding them now, I can find, yeah, the better spots for them. Does that make sense? Is that everything? Hopefully. Because these are really, for me, really special, and I want to find special places. That doesn't mean that these are not special. They are part of the journal as well, yeah, but with having these here now, I have more possibilities to, yeah, somehow turn this into my own. I have no idea how I can explain that well, because it's somehow also, yeah, perhaps somehow about this thing, how you feel about a journal and the composition. And when I have these special things where I have only a few little like masterpieces, then it's also easier for me to glue them when I already have other things in the journal done. For example, these page tabs we've just added, even if they are also page tabs. But for me, this is more like an embellishment than it is a page tab. Yeah, it's... Do you know what I mean? It's more than only a page tab. And that is not only because I... Ooh. Oh. I have the... Oh, no. Okay. I need to... Oh, no, I can't talk. I'm so sorry. I have put the glue too far to the right here, because I wanted to turn this into a pocket, even if here's a page tab. So now I have glue there. Can we quickly please fix that problem? And another tiny thing, and then we can later on perhaps stencil or stamp over that so that this doesn't look so weird, but with that this little thing is also covered up. But what I was trying to say, if you have those special pieces, perhaps you want to try this trick. Oh, it's not a trick, but this method. Just wait until you have other things in the journal already and then add those special things. I think that makes way more sense. I mean, at least for me. And what I also thought, and I already thought that when we made the other page tabs, that some of those, for example, or especially this one here, looks the best on one of the smaller pages, like this one here, for example, because in my opinion, a page tab doesn't always necessarily need to peek out. Perhaps like so, but then the background is pretty light, isn't it? I think I will just spray something on here. Let's go with frayed burlap and walnut stain oxide spray. And let's take this to protect the other pieces there. Because I want to spritz from pretty far away, because I don't want to cover the whole thing, and I don't want to cover my, I'm afraid, my stamping there. Let's just take a paper towel. So this was walnut stain. Let's then add a little bit of the frayed burlap. Like so. And then where's my water? I will add a little bit of water if I can find my spritz bottle. And then I will quickly dry this. Nein, das ist ein bisschen zu viel. Ah! That is a little bit too much. Ooh, but ooh, that, ooh, okay, wait. Water is not dangerous, so we can take this away. Oh, look what a cool thing. I mean, look, we need that here a little bit and here. So then it is perfect, because, how can I? This and like this, and then how did I do that? I screamed and then I pressed this on here, right? So I really like this effect. Oh, I need to experiment with this kind of technique, because now we have this spritzed look, this like speckled thingy, and here this solid area, and I think when then the page tab is attached there, that looks really, really cool. I will quickly dry this and glue the page tab to this smaller page here. So this is dry, and while I wanted to glue this, I realized that here there was a really weird white spot from the back of this masterboard. This brown doesn't bother me, but this white was really weird. So I have just taken this little scrap to cover that up. And now I can just glue it down there. And I'm really close to freaking out, but in a positive way, because how long do I work with these mediums now? I mean, you know, I have so many sprays and everything, and I would say I have a pretty good knowledge about the colors I have and how they react, and about, you know, color combinations and so on. That shall not sound arrogant, but I think that's a fact. But walnut stain and frayed burlap, I mean, what the heck? That is so pretty. I have not thought that it will come out so gorgeous. And here on the mixed media masterboard, we have used something completely different. That is, I mean, it's brown, yeah, but what shall happen if we use brown? But and there are also browns which don't fit together. And this is really, I want to take a bath in this color. How cool is that? Okay. I want some metal here. Just because. Oh, that is so cool. Ooh. Okay, so let's go on with another one. I want to try, let's see, this journal has 4 signatures, and this page tab with the bird went into the second one. So let's spread them a little bit so that we perhaps have one of each of these more special ones in each signature. Shall we also go with a tiny page for this? That's not so nice. Okay, this will go here. Oh. Where is my thing? I'm assuming that this journal will become a little bit bulky, but that is good. Okay. Oh no. No! Oh no! It's too, oh no. That was a little bit too much to the right. We don't freak out about these glue oopsies. No, no, we will not freak out. I mean, the good thing is the most of these pages are pretty grungy. So, well, perhaps I will spray something over this later if I will see this. But the good thing is this little glycine bag gets a little bit grungy as well with the moisture of the glue. That is not the baddest thing. I'll quickly dry this so that it can't stick to the other page anymore. I think in this journal I also did something I haven't done so often, and that is using, yeah, like all of the generations a stamp can give. Here, for example, this little sludge here came from this typewriter stamp, and I've just pressed the stamp to the page several times until there was no ink on the stamp anymore to get that effect, and I really love that. That looks somehow really interesting. And you can also get interest to those empty and white pages. I mean, some of these have been like, you know, really white, like white. And, oh, look, that is good. To get rid of that, you can also use that little sludge from your stamp. I mean, why not? This would work. Yeah, and I like that as well. Shall we glue this? Yeah, we will glue this as a double pocket, because this thing itself is already a pocket. How do I need to do that now? Well, let's put the glue here and here on the bottom. And then we can also tuck something behind that thing. Okay, and I think I'm going to stop this video here now, because when I look at the time my phone is already recording, then I can see it's already pretty long. I will split this into 2 parts, because I have a ton of other things I want to use here, and perhaps you want to see that as well, how I put those things into this journal. So the second part of this will come very, very soon here on my channel, and perhaps you want to follow me for the rest of this. And then I also, of course, want to give you a full flip through of the finished thing. So that's it for today, and I'm really hoping that you like this. Perhaps you could get some ideas, and perhaps we will see the next time again when I will finish this. Bye bye.